Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. It's November 12th, 2013. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right here is Cody Bills to help break down the action that we saw on a Tuesday in the grain market. Really all the spotlight today was on the soybean complex. Let's jump into fire tip and see where the grains closed. December corn off 2.5 cents, soybeans up 12 3/4. Chicago wheat was down a penny, Kansas City wheat down 3.5 cents. As I said, all the strength today and really all the action was in that soybean complex. We had a good export sale to China this morning. We had a good soy oil sale to unknown destinations. Both those seem to be supporting the market. And one thing that was kind of a unique news story that we had this morning, certainly after the devastating typhoon in Indonesia, we saw Malaysian palm oil futures rally overnight. That seemed to spill oil over into the soy oil complex. So all those things really seem to help get this soybean market off to a good footing this morning from a fundamental standpoint.
Yeah, you know, those were pretty good stories here in terms of moving this market higher here, but we also had a good technical environment to make a little bit of a run. Not only were we over that $13 mark, but we were also over that 50-day moving average, and that left the upside a little bit open here until we get to the higher side of the range. If you take a look, we were actually able to get over the range here of that 12.12 high that we printed back here a couple of weeks ago. One thing that we want to keep in mind is that really for the last, since September, we've been trading in this range, and typically what we see when we're trading in a range is trading within a channel or trading within this like defined range. But what we've been noticing here is that in the last month or so, we've actually been expanding. That range has been continuing to expand, and that can oftentimes be a little bit complicated for traders as it kind of sends off these mixed signals. You know, sometimes you would suspect that once you get out of that range that you would continue a trend. That hasn't been the case. This has been a choppy environment, and I wouldn't be surprised here if we find some resistance right up around 13.24, which is the high side of this expanding triangle.
Yeah, certainly, Cody. You know, I think for soybean producers out there right now, it's really an important time to take a serious look at making some cash sales. If we take a look here at the cash market, I think that kind of supports kind of this notion that this may be a good time to pull the trigger. Take a look here. This basically shows by delivery where we see the average cash price being bid by elevators right now across the country. As you can see here, we have what's called an inverted market where the near-term deliveries are being bid at a premium to the more deferred deliveries. Bottom line, there's no incentive here to store grain. It's not going to pay you to store that grain into the winter here. Certainly there are some rare exceptions, but in general, this is what we're looking at. And you can see here that the real premium lies in that November and December delivery here. I think certainly in light of the futures action that we've seen here really over the last several days since that USDA WASDE report, it's a good time to, as I said, take a look at the cash market, see what you can find out there. Right now, in particular, we see exceptional premiums at the river markets out through February as the U.S. is trying to export grain before the big South American crop comes out of the field.
You know, and really in the last couple of days, we actually seen some of those premiums come down a little bit. Not saying that, I mean, relatively speaking, when you look on the forward curve, they're still there. But the bottom line is that the barge rates have actually been increasing in the last few days. That's going to be putting pressure on the basis at the river terminals. And when you have pressure on the basis at the river terminals, you're going to see that ripple throughout the countryside. So that's one thing to keep in mind here. Just keep a close eye on the barge rates because that will impact countryside elevators as well when you're going to make these sales.
Absolutely. Well, that's kind of what we're looking at here for the grain market. Certainly another supportive day in the soybean complex. We'll see if we have any follow through tomorrow. If you have any questions about the kind of the technical landscape that Cody detailed here on the show today, feel free to give us a call at the office. Our number is 877-472-4607. And if you want to chart these contracts for yourself as well, we've got a great trading platform here in the office, and we can give you a free demo if you give us a call or shoot us an email. Thanks a lot for joining us here on GrainTV on Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow.